problems that are not poverty are not out on display. The problems that are not poverty are not out on display. Poverty is out on display for everyone to see. And
You can just simply get it out and figure it out. You know? So
optimization is you have to sacrifice one parameter for the other parameters to work.
okay.
You understand? You have to sacrifice a parameter for the other parameters to work.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the people that do straightforward things, they're not questioned much. Even if when they are doing things that are not straightforward. They just think you are doing the proper thing.
Hello, Magadini Salvonani, and welcome to this episode. I'm excited actually to come back again here at Youth Excellence. I have my brother here, Davies. Maybe for a context before we jump into it, I want to tell you, Davies, I've been here at NUST for the past 3 years. We've been together. He's a God-fearing man. We've been attending churches together, worshiping and fellowshipping together, going for camps together. He's a very funny man, very jovial, very excellent. You wouldn't, and I wonder, and congratulations, my brother, first class degree in engineering. Maybe introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Kelvin. My name is Maupa Davis. I always introduce myself with a surname first. People think Maupa is the name, but it's the surname. Davis is the name, and Takuzwa is the middle name. I got a first class, as you said.
Beautiful.
Enrolled at NUST in 2020
Wow.
for engineering, industrial and manufacturing engineering, that is.
Wow.
So, yeah, it ran from 2020 to 2025, from the COVID years up to now, recently graduated. So, that's just it.
I'm not mixing my words when I say engineering is hard. Actually, I was reading one of the hardest, if not the hardest, course at university is engineering. What was the main motivation for you to choose engineering? What was
You know, with these things, natural selection. You know how natural selection does. You know our system. It's funny how it works. If they say this person is smart, that person has to do sciences. So when you have been doing so well, Form 1, Form 2, you are streamed into sciences, commercials, arts when they do that. So you just got to sciences. I actually wanted to be a lawyer at a point.
Really?
I actually
You
wanted
must
to
be
be
a
a lawyer.
lawyer. The way you are vocal
I actually wanted, naturally, I think I am a lawyer.
You are a
Naturally,
lawyer
I
by
think
nature, yes.
the way I talk, the way I look at things, the way I analyze things, I think naturally I'm a lawyer. I'm good with my words.
Definitely.
I'm good with my pen.
You are.
So naturally, I think I'm there.
Okay.
Then when I was actually in high school, I really excelled more in commercial subjects.
Really?
Accounting was my food.
Wow. Wow.
Accounting was my food to the
So I
extent.
think you still have it in you.
So yeah, I actually did it at A level.
Really?
Accounting.
Oh,
Yes, I actually
beautiful.
did it at A level.
Oh.
But then it's because you're also able to do the other things naturally, because I think you are sharp
IQ
up
is,
there.
it's very important.
So I was able to do everything. So you get into the science classes, you nail the science classes, you get to A level, you go through the science classes, and you end up, now I'm supposed to be doing engineering because natural selection got me here. So sometimes I always joke around with my friends when we're done with school and said, I'm done with the degree that natural selection wanted me to do. Now I'm going to do my passion. What I'm passionate about. So now I'm going to go back to do what I'm passionate about. This is what the system wanted me to do when it
And I've done
selected. So I've done what the system wanted me to do. So now I'm going to do what I want to do. Yeah. So that's actually a small challenge I have with the system, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, the system kind of chooses for you.
So do you regret it? Do you feel like you should be a lawyer? Do you have a lawyer in you? Like, are you regretting it, or you feel like it's the best thing?
No, that's why I don't, maybe because I haven't seen any adverse effects from it as of yet. I don't have any regrets. Because, yeah, sometimes still it doesn't remove the analytical mind in me. It's actually an advantage,
Absolutely.
And when you're an engineer, science people are saying they're not good at expressing themselves, they're not good at talking. When you're a science person, said, I know you're just good at researching, looking at things from afar, but expressing yourself and saying what you saw eloquently and puts me in a better position when I am in that field. You cannot balance the two things. No, I understand these things from an engineering perspective, and I can actually say out these things to people.
Like a lawyer.
Yeah, like a lawyer. You simplify the
calculate
issues.
like an accountant.
I can calculate these things. So you balance all those things because you are good at that.
Yeah.
So I think it actually gives me an advantage to say, Davies, those things are natural with them. Maybe I may not be able to quote the sections of the Constitution. Why? Because I'm not a lawyer. I didn't go through that.
But with AI now, you can just simply get it out and figure it out. So it's still an advantage.
So yeah, I don't know, but I think it was a good thing to take me to where I'm not natural at. Something that I'm not natural at. But the analytical mind, the things of saying, these ways of saying this, what could they mean? That I can do.
Beautiful. Let me be vulnerable, guys. I'll be honest. When I went to NUST, I really wanted to have a first class degree. And I remember writing it down. It was my wish to have a first class.
Right.
And as long as you're at NUST, I'm not going to name any other universities. But I will say this without fear of contradiction. First class degree at NUST, it's hard. I want to tell you, and having it in engineering, congratulations. Now, on this podcast, we want to get into the nitty-gritties. What has made you achieve it? Because I believe, if you want to be great, learn from the great. So we can copy probably from your daily routine, your habits, your study habits. Take us through.
If I'm being honest, the most important thing when you get to an institution is the hands that you fall into.
Okay.
Who is going to be advising you? Who is going to be guiding you through the system? Or these things work like this. When you're studying, these things work like this. If you want to attain this, you have to work this way. For example, let me start from high school. When I got there, I did my high school at Shungu High School in Kwekwe.
Okay.
One of the best there at the time. One of the best there at the time. And I get there was this history teacher that was there. She used to give tests every Thursday. So she was feared. And so the Form 2s come and tell you, this history teacher, you have to be, so they put this fear in you that when you get to Thursday, everyone is ready for history.
All right.
So, but somehow I did not really have any, I said, what could really be the case? And I'm just Form 1 there.
Yeah.
You get your first test, it was just about yourself, your history. The second test, I was late for that one, by the way. I was late for that one. We had a little scare with the teacher at the door. Then I got in 10 minutes. I think 15 minutes left. It was only a 30 minutes test. 15 minutes late. Then I write, I finish.
Okay.
Then she says, class monitor, please collect the books. Unfortunately, I was the class monitor. Then I stood up to collect the books.
Right.
And there are other people who were still trying to finish.
Yeah.
And I was finished.
All right.
So, since that time, I was wondering, so why do people say these things are so difficult? Because I think now, she then says, put your book on top. The class monitor should put the book on top.
Okay.
No, I think trying to see, this guy was late for my class. Now I want to see how serious he really is. Then I asked that test.
Wow.
So some people got fear because of the first experience that they had. The history is difficult.
So they had an attitude.
Yeah, they just thought it was difficult. But for me, it never really proved to be a challenge.
Wow.
It was okay for me. But that problem got to me when I got to NUST now. When in part 1, part 2, they tell you, these first class degrees. People will tell you, you just pass. It doesn't really matter. You just pass. It doesn't really matter. You You can walk around. The idea is to pass at university. It's difficult to get a first class degree.
Very
But,
difficult.
they will be telling you that. So just wait for your 2-1, my guy. So I understood that. I said, so why should I push if it's difficult, if they don't just give first classes out? Yeah, that was me literally in part 1. I don't want to tell you that I was working hard or what. I'll be lying to you. Understand? So I was relaxed when I was working in part 1, got my part assessment. It was okay. It was okay in the upper 2-1 there. Part 2, it was the same thing. Now, our part 2 in my program was said to be the most difficult of them all. So I got there with an attitude. Part 2. They will tell you you can't pass part 2. So 2-1, I had some feeling. And I looked at my results and said, no, man, this is not me. this is not me. That's when I came to that moment. No, even if those guys told me that I don't produce such results, I can't be producing these results, because when we in high school, our motto was you pass with an A and you fail with a B. So what is the 59 doing in my portal? What is that's what I was thinking. It cannot be that difficult.
Wow.
So 2-2, I said I'm going to correct my things now.
Wow.
And that's when it started. I started correcting my things at 2-2.
So that failure is fueled.
Yeah, I couldn't stand it. I'm better than this. I'm actually going down the drain because I'm just listening to what people said. People said you can't pass 2-1, part 2. So I said, but people used to say that about history. People used to say that about a lot of things when we were in high school. But I just made it through. So let me just correct this. So I actually have that regret for those part 1 and part 2. Part 3, I was in it now.
You're now in the game.
Yeah, I was now in the game, and these things you can just pass. It is a matter of just being told by people, but mentality is everything. Mentality is everything in this thing. So in part 3, I was staying in town. I stayed with my brother in town. My routine. But part 3, I was doing a lot of politics too. I was doing a lot of politics. So I was supposed to balance my politics and my studying, but I used the library a lot. I used the school library a lot. I would wake up from home. If I have no lectures, I stayed at the library. If I'm not doing politics, I made the library.
Right.
That was my routine. That was my routine. I was always at the library. Even if I'm not reading, I'm just there seated in the library. So that when I get in the mood, I read. If I'm not in the mood, that's what I was doing. Those libraries, Wi-Fi, video phones. If you're not in the mood, you play. I play in the library. I know I'm supposed to be reading, but I'm not in the mood. So part 3, I was staying in the library.
Wow.
I was a person who stayed in the library.
You guys can copy this one.
I played in the library. I can play. I can be on social media in the library. Because it reminds you, those guys are now reading. I have to read.
Wow.
It kept on reminding me that I have to read. So I only went back. I didn't read in the evening in part 3. I went back home to relax, start posting my political posters, my campaigns and all that, inboxing people to vote for me and all that. But I did that in the evening.
Right.
But when I'm not busy with lectures or anything else, I'm in the library. If I'm playing, I play in the library. Because I understood a lot of time was being lost in the politics. So I needed to maximize the free time.
Politics of the SRC.
Yeah, the SRC, not the national politics. I'm sorry.
To clarify, it's us as students. We want to be leaders.
Yeah, it was
Actually, I love
the SRC.
I was in it as well. It was
the SRC elections, those ones. So that's how it happened. So my strategy part 3 was stay in the library, and I managed to sell through clean. Part 3, it was clean. It was a great run. My third year, it was great. It started reviving my failures. It redeemed me somehow. Yeah. Then part 5 now, when you come back for part 5 now, that's when I said, now, yeah.
You feel like...
Yeah. But the attitude was different now. We are looking at your class and you're saying I'm at 73.
Yes.
That's where my degree class was. And I'm like, I would regret if I ended 74.
So painful.
So the push was supposed to be fire. I was supposed to make sure.
This time around.
Yeah, I was supposed to make sure. So, you know that the decisions that we made, we came up, you know, in engineering, we have something that we call optimization. Optimization is you have to sacrifice one parameter for the other parameters to work.
Okay.
You understand? You have to sacrifice the parameter for the other parameters to work.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what optimization just means. And it
So
there is
you were
in cars, and let me give a simple example. You want to get to Harare fast, and from here you can do 200 kilometers per hour in your car, right? But you have sacrificed safety. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you've sacrificed safety because you want shorter time.
So everything comes at a cost.
Yeah, you've sacrificed safety. Or you can be late and travel at 100 kilometers per hour. You've sacrificed time. You see. So that's optimization. And so I sat down with my friends. We said, apart from now, we want to stay at a place that does not force us to read when we don't want to read because we are afraid of Zesa to go. Zesa is a challenge.
Big
This
challenge.
is a big challenge. So I said, no, we need to look for a place that allows us to read when we want to read.
Okay.
You need to look for a place that allows us to have internet connection when we want the internet connection, not to read when it wants us to read or to have internet connection. You know, the challenge of saying, there's no this, and now I'm walking to campus to go and read. We didn't want that. We need a comfortable place.
Wow.
So we found one, but it was far from campus. About 3.5 kilometers from campus. Then we said, guys, sacrifices must be made.
Okay.
Sacrifices must be made. I would rather walk 3.5 kilometers
But you have all
these things, knowing that when I get there, I'm home. I have everything. I have backup power that is proper. I have proper internet. I have proper water. I'm not stressed about anything else.
So that when you miss a lecture, you don't feel bad.
You don't feel bad.
Yes.
We never did anyway. We never missed those anyway. We always
Always
attended those. You know, I always had a feeling of if I miss a lecture, I'm failing right now. I felt like I'm and out of fire. I felt like that.
The funny thing is, majority of people are last minute people.
Yeah.
You find at university,
Yeah.
the top students never miss.
You don't have to.
Top students will never miss a lecture. To assignments, tutorials, they are always on point. I'm just highlighting.
Yeah. So you know, one small advantage I had is I was a class rep.
No.
Yeah, that was an advantage. You know, people say class rep said at university, it doesn't work. What? It was an advantage, my guy, if you're doing your things proper. It was an advantage, you know. It was an advantage. When you're doing your things proper, you have the trust of the lecturers. When you're doing your things proper, those guys trust you. They let you do, they let you help them. You see, they let you help them with their things.
And they are professional guys.
Yeah, and they're professional guys. So they listen to what you tell them.
Wow.
If they trust you. Because you only listen to someone that you trust. This guy is reasonable. So if you're reasonable enough, they listen to you. So, you know, when I was staying far, I would tell them, these days I'm staying far. So starting a lecture at 8 for me is difficult. Can you start it at 9 so that I can walk?
So they can understand.
They can understand you because you're a reasonable person. They trust you, you're a reasonable person. And 8 o'clock anyway is too early for most people. You start with a class with maybe 4 or 5 people. So they would be understanding such things.
Right?
Can we?
So you are emphasizing the importance of relationship with
Yeah.
your lecturers.
Relationship with your lecturers. There is no need to be running out. If he knows me, what if we cross paths? If he knows me, just be proper.
Just be proper.
Be proper.
Wow.
You know. I always say that the people that don't the people that do straightforward things, they are not questioned much, even if when they are doing things that are not straightforward. They just think you are doing the proper thing. They just think you are doing the proper thing.
Okay.
Let me tell you this about me in high school. It's simple. I became a prefect when I was in Form 1, third term.
Wow. So you are a leader
right through up to upper 6, right? So you would find, even before I was, you would find this guy say, Davies is a proper guy. He's reasonable. You don't just find him walking in the corridor for no reason. So if you find him walking in the corridor, he's probably going to get something.
Okay.
But I may be going to do something funny in the next class.
Davies, big Davies.
Yeah, you may be going to do something funny in the next. We were kids. We may be going to do something funny in the next class. So the issue in the corridor, during study hours, that they'll be patrolling the teachers on Tuesday, just say, good evening, say, properly, you don't run. They say, this is a proper kid. He's probably going to ask for some notes from the next class.
So it's very important to brand yourself.
Yeah. How do you package yourself? How do you package yourself? What do they think of you? It's very important.
How?
What do people think when they see you?
Wow.
Because what they think is just how they will address you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So still on the tactics that you are using. And right now, we've just spoken a short, but I know if I'm to summarize everything, I can write a book. I'm enjoying this topic. How do you deal with success, Davis? Because success is where can be dangerous.
It's very dangerous.
How do you deal with success? How do you manage to be humble?
I celebrate my guy. I celebrate, but as you said, I'm also a Christian. As we said at first, I'm also a Christian. So you need to understand. For some of us, when such things happen to us, we believe, and I have read in the Bible. When you read John chapter 3, John chapter 3 verse 26, somewhere there, around there, John says a man can receive nothing unless it is from above.
Okay.
A man can, and nothing means nothing, my guy. So when we are talking about the first class, when the verse is saying a man can receive nothing unless it is from above, I cannot receive a first class unless it is from above.
Wow.
James says every good and perfect gift comes from our Father, who is God.
Okay.
So when he's saying every good and perfect gift comes from God, I regard a first class as a good and perfect gift.
Wow.
And he's saying every. He's saying every. So we need to understand. My understanding is of that, or what the Bible is saying. It's not my understanding. It's what the Bible is literally saying. That everything that is good comes from God. Or you can receive nothing unless it is from God. So all glory should go to God.
Not I.
Not I, but Christ. That's what the Bible is telling you. I might have been saying all those things that I have been saying,
but at the end of the day,
that was happening because God wanted it to happen that way, and God was empowering me to be able to do that, to be able to see that I need to brand myself this way. I need to stay at the library to balance my time. Those things were instilled by me, by God.
Wow. You spoke about friends. When you came back, you said we discussed with our friends, let's look for a place.
Yes.
It's very important to have friends, and it's very important to have a teamwork. But it's very, very difficult for you to find the right friends.
Yes.
What advice can you give to someone out there in terms of making friends and the type of friends that you have? How did you come up? Because they are good friends. Some of them, I know them. They are actually God-fearing. You share the same beliefs at the end. What advice in terms of, was this peer pressure? They are at NUST, they are parties, the others are into drugs, others are into everything. Take us through the issue of friends there.
Yeah, maybe the first thing that I should actually tell you is in our cottage we were 4 of us. The 4 of us have distinctions. Have first class.
Man.
Maybe that's the first thing I should just put out there.
Wow.
But the 4 of my friends, all 4 of us were first classes.
Okay.
So you see the importance of friendship there. Okay. It was a decision we made together, but we are going to stay there for a reason of study. So, and all four of them, I met them here at NUST.
Wow.
When we were in part one.
Okay.
When we were in part one, we how did we met? Through mutual friends also. I had a girl that I learned with at primary. Very sharp, very intelligent. My competition in primary there.
Okay.
So we met here at NUST, and she had met two of them at high school.
Like, we have unfinished
So-
the business. We used to be
So yeah, so when we just started those group discussions, those group works, you are given some group works. We formed a group. At first, the group would have so many people, different views, but then somehow natural selection does something there. You see, these are like minds. Yeah, birds of the same feathers fly
always
together.
find this.
So they find each other. So just yesterday I was laughing, saying birds of the same feathers pass together.
Wow. Actually, this is good, guys.
Because
This is inspiring. So you find friends that are similar to you.
Yeah, like minds. Like minds are very important. Like minds within my class, those are my friends. Then outside my class, most of my friends are from church.
Okay.
Outside my class, most of my friends are from church.
That's very important.
In my class, I only had two people who are from church, and he is my close friend. One of them.
Beautiful.
He is my close friend. Both of them actually, they were my close friends. Yeah, both of them. Unfortunately, the other one didn't go on with us. He had to defer for some reason while he was on attachment. Yeah, so I continued with one up to part final. Then outside my class, most of my friends are from church.
I'm forced. We don't actually have time, and as we are pushing this to the end of our discussion, I can't help but just talk a bit about anti-intellectualism. A lot of people are discouraging people from going to school. Reason being, there's unemployment. There's AI, it will take your job. There is someone here who didn't even go Form 4, but he's having 5 cars. And in a world that's so saturated by such pressures of social media, what keeps you going and feel like education is still important? And what advice can you give to such ideas?
Naturally, money gives respect. Naturally, money gives respect. Right? But when money is without education, sometimes people lose that respect that they've earned from money. We will not deny the fact that money gives respect. That's a fact. In fact, we are attaining education so that we get money.
Yeah.
Right? So
That's
if someone,
the end goal.
so if someone gets to money first,
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Okay.
But the challenge is there are some people that have money, but with that money, they lose respect because the head is empty. You may lose respect with the money that you have. So somehow, education, if there is one thing that it teaches us, it's making the proper decisions.
Decision making.
It's proper decision making. When they are giving you 7 questions and they're saying choose 5, it's part of the exam. It's part of the
Choosing 5 is part of the
Choosing
exam.
5 is part of the exam. They are saying where the advantages, where the disadvantages, see where the advantages are more than the disadvantages, and choose where the advantages are more than the disadvantages. When they are giving you multiple choice and they're giving you 4 questions, they're saying choose the correct answer. There are 4 answers. Actually, there are only 2 answers. There's the correct one and the wrong ones. That is how life is actually.
Yes,
So,
black and white.
Yeah, education is simply trying to teach us make the right decision. Make the right decision. That's one of the things that education teaches us. So when there is money and there is no education, you may not know what to do with the money. That's why
it may kill you.
Yeah, that's why those with the money will then have to go to say, I have money that I want to use, but I want people that can use the money that I have. Then we call them investors.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, then we call them investors. So it's proper. It's okay to have money, but it's better to have education and money. from my point of view. It's better to have education and money. Yeah. It's proper, it's okay to have money, but it's better to have education and money.
Okay.
And it's okay to have education and try to find money with the education.
All right, guys. I hope you've learned. This is a God-fearing man, a fellow Christian like you, and there's a rumor out there that I'm doing this because I want to be smart. But he is someone who is God-fearing, but still achieving great results. So you can do it. I want to ask you if you can. Any thought, maybe from what we have discussed, any idea that you came across with, or what you are thinking, whatever exciting thing that you feel like I can share. Like me, I was reading on Facebook and emphasizing on the point that you're saying. This post was like, some people are very poor, all they have is money.
Some people are poor, all they have is money. Because there is a lot to life than money.
Yes.
Our problems, we tend to think the solution to our problems is money. But people with money have their own problems that they cannot manage. Because my Bible says, munhu akazorwa nemukadzi ane mazuva mazhinji azere nekutambudzika. That's what my Bible says, and if my Bible says it, then it must be right, because it is God who's saying that. The only difference is the problems that are not poverty are not out on display. The problems that are not poverty are not out on display. Poverty is out on display for everyone to see. And everyone sees what are these guys have poverty. But probably they are rich in other things. They have parents that love them. That's something that's underrated. To have parents that say, I will pay for your fees.
Very underrated.
Something that's underrated. To have a family that is intact in this day and age. Those are things that are giving people pressures and all that. So there are parents that have kids that are into drugs, but they are rich parents. So they have kids that are giving them problems. They don't sleep at night. Or some of our parents sleep well at night without the money. You understand? So their problem is money. So the problem with money problems is they are out for everyone to see. But if my Bible says everyone who is born of the womb of the woman has a very short days to live that are filled with trouble, then it must be right, because it's saying everyone. And there's no one who was not born of the womb of the woman. So it's okay to look at other people. You'll be thinking they're fine. You'll be thinking they're fine because their problems are not out in the open like our problems when we don't have money.
Wow, powerful.
Yes.
Powerful, man. Powerful. All right, guys. So, last segment, we're just gonna play a game with Davies. You tell me the first word that comes in your head. Favorite verse.
My favorite verse. All right. My favorite verse is, I'll look up unto the hills from whence cometh my help. That's Psalms 121 verse 1. You know the challenges that come in life. Some things we can't even start to deal with. When you talk about my journey, my 5-year journey, there was a point that I almost died.
I remember I was reading you posted that story.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have to do that, but you can, I don't know.
It's okay. In that moment, I realized this is just God and me.
Wow.
This is just when I got robbed by those armed robbers.
It's a very sad story, guys, and I'm afraid if he starts telling you that he may drop a tear. He wrote this post and I followed it to the end. It was a touching story. It really is.
So
you do me an audio so that I want those who are curious. It's a really God helped you.
It's okay. Yeah. So there was a point where there were 2 dogs that were coming at me. You know, you hear when a dog is barking that this dog is a vicious dog. You feel it and you hear it, and they were coming at me while I was naked. my hands tied at my back, and with thorns under my feet. You know, when I'm saying it like this, it's as if I'm talking drama or something. But this happened. But at a distance of like 4 meters from me, they just stopped and kept quiet. They stopped there. Then I turned and I went away while they were stopped. They were stopped there. What stopped them, I don't know.
It was not your strength.
It was not me, because I had stopped. My mind was telling me, you are closer to the house. If you run away from the house and these dogs attack you while you are away from the house, no one will ever hear you cry. So wait at the house so that when they start attacking you, you make the noise, crying for help, and they will come out. Yeah, that was what was in my mind at that time.
Okay.
So when they stopped, I decided, so let me just stand. Why are they stopping? So when you're now looking back at all those things, you say, what stopped those dogs?
Can't be me, it's God.
You know?
If I remember quite well, maybe for the sake of you, I would rather hang them. Davies, you got into a truck, and it was a public transport, right?
It was a private car. Yes.
Then you discovered that it's gangs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Then from nowhere, they stripped you naked, they dumped you from nowhere.
Yes.
And you faced some tiresome for you to find neighbors there. And probably that's where you met some dogs along. So that's his story, where he almost died. But through it all, he is.
Yes.
And they say, it's not me, it's God. Powerful. Favorite team?
195.
195. Near full. Long.
Yes.
Long Lilo.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. It is different.
It is different in the
favorite quote.
Favorite quote, that would be Education page 271.
Wow.
Education page 271. You know, I recently started working with the Pathfinders at my church. So, you know, when they are marching and all that, you realize if these kids are trained in the right way. So the quote is, with such an army of workers as our youth, rightly trained, mighty finish, how soon the message of a crucified, risen, and soon coming Savior might be carried to the whole world. So I look at those kids marching, the order that they give, how they listen, how they think. If these kids, we train them right, if we give them the word of God right, if we at this tender age, if they can start quoting verses at this tender age, if they start explaining verses at this tender age, and if they start not being ashamed of the gospel of Christ at this tender age, and they grow up without the shame of the gospel of Christ,
the earth will be upside down.
It will be upside down. So, because we have people who grew up training for the job that they'll be doing.
Davies is a Sabbath keeper. This is the last one as well. Davies is a Sabbath keeper. And you've never missed church because of school, but still.
Yes, I did.
Can you please confirm?
I did not.
We need to tell people out there who are giving excuses, working on Sabbath, going to school on Sabbath. We've got people who are still, God is still blessing his people who are keeping Sabbath out there.
I usually write on my status, never miss church for anything.
Wow.
Never miss church. Yes, there are circumstances that are beyond your control, that even Christ allows us to say it's not bad to do good on the Sabbath. There are circumstances that are beyond our control, but whenever it's within the purview of your control, never miss church for anything.
That's your motto.
Never miss church for anything. Even if you don't feel like going to church, even if you don't feel like God is, even if you were singing last night,
even if you were singing in the morning,
find your way to church.
Find your place and go to church.
Find your way to church. God is waiting for you.
Beautiful.
God is waiting for you.
Guys, I hope you really enjoyed. Time can never be enough. And I hope there will be part 2. It all depends on the response that I'm going to get. Thank you, Davies.
Thank you very much for having me.
Precious hesitant.
Yo, Somla.
Oh, man.
Cards!